I guess this is one of those videos that call for Old Faithful. Actually, look for any excuse at all to put on the jacket.
Oh, hi there. My name's Jorge. I grew up in the 80s and I used to love getting into trouble. I have always been a friend of felines. I take my faith very seriously, attending school at a Christian college, and I've been a music fan my entire life, only recently discovering that I really like extreme metal. And I want to invite you to journey with me on my discovery of extreme metal.
What is up, folks? Welcome back to A Christian Collects Death Metal. It's your pal Jorge here, back at it again. Thank you all so much for stopping by. More of my favorite 80s, 90s death metal albums. This is part 2. I hope that you've had a chance to check out my first video. You know, I could barely call this list an 80s, 90s list, simply because there's only one album from the 80s in this particular video. I think in my upcoming part 3 we have a few more, but this one is from 1989, I believe from the Netherlands. I guess I could have looked it up. Their sophomore album, Consuming Impulse by Pestilence. I also should say that I'm trying to stay away from stuff that's too death doomy or gore grindy, though there are some that sort of veer that direction. Like this one kind of veers toward thrashy. Some would call it death thrash. I think it's just early death metal, so obviously there's going to be some thrashy elements. Their first one was good. Maleficarum, I think that came out in 1988. Obviously Scream, Bloody Gore, Seven Churches came out prior to this. The vocals, very, I wouldn't say screamy, but throaty, sort of yelling, kind of like Chuck Schuldiner. So maybe you could see some influence on the vocals. What I like about this, it's just from the go, it's off to the races. I mean, they don't spend a lot of time mucking around. It's just right to it. Consuming Impulse, Pestilence. Coming in at number 9 is a band that I really appreciate. The main guy, Steve Rowe, been at it for a while and still going strong. I actually featured this album, I think, in the Metal Tag 2024, pretty sure. Yeah, Scrolls of the Megaloth by Mortification. You know, you love everything on this album. Is the production a little bit thin? Yeah, it is. You know, coming from a guy who listens to shrill, grating black metal, almost unlistenable, when it comes to death metal, you kind of want that heft, right? You want that more meaty sound to it. And you know what? You turn it up really loud, you don't even really notice it. Great album. Their sophomore release, they had the self-titled debut, which is a great one too. Iconic artwork, I should say, as well. Nuclear Blast released some albums with alternate artwork. Am I right about that? I'm pretty sure. This is one you just can't go wrong with. Mortification, Scrolls of the Megaloth. Scrolls of the Megaloth. So this next band actually did start out in the late 80s, 1988. And, you know, we got to have some Swedish death metal on here. They had several demos before dropping their debut, which I'm about ready to show. No, it's not Entombed. It's not Left Hand Path. I'm more of a Wolverine Blues kind of guy. All jokes aside, we're talking about Like an Everflowing Stream by Dismember, 1991. Yeah, that Swedish chainsaw, HM2 sound, buzzsaw, however you want to call it. Great stuff. I think the vocals remind me more of like hardcore style vocals. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's just how I perceive it. Man, the music is on point. Probably my favorite album of theirs. You know, they have several good ones. Dismember, Swedish death metal, can never go wrong. Number 8. Coming in at number 7 is actually the album that I featured in my post a few days ago. 1998, United States death metal, New York. We have Skinless, Progression Towards Evil. This is some nasty, super nasty sounding death metal. With vocals that, you know, you really wish other vocalists would go for. But, you know, this is late enough in the 90s to where they kind of nailed it down, or they have a really good feeling of what death metal vocals should be, at least in my opinion. That's how I think of it. Low gutturals, back in the mix. That's my opinion of the best death metal vocals. It's not buried in the mix. It's more up front than really what I prefer, but it's so good. The music's so great. The reason it's so high on this list is because the little clips that they include, it's not Mortification type clips. Well, I mean, they are like movie clips, just like some coarse jokes and stuff. I think without that, man, I just want to hear the music, man. It's so good. It's low. It's mean. It's just what you want from death metal. Skinless, Progression Towards Evil. For number 6, we have some brutal death metal. Imagine that. Brutal death metal from the 90s. 1991. Went back and forth on this one between a few albums. Recently on Instagram, I showed Pierced From Within. Could have easily went with Breeding the Spawn. But, you know, we got to go with Effigy of the Forgotten by Suffocation for this one. Originally released on CD, so yeah, what we have now on vinyl, sourced from digital, sadly, but, you know, it sounds great. I guess, you know, a necessary evil, you could say. Terrence, the main guy, the brains behind the outfit, super technical, man, very tight sounding. I mean, you don't really need me to explain it to you. Just brutal, tight death metal that just goes in some wild directions. It's a great time every time. Effigy of the Forgotten. Coming in at number 5. Why am I filming in here? Oh, because my daughter's on the phone with her friend and gets embarrassed when old dad talks loudly about death metal. Netherlands, Nuclear Blast as well. Sophomore album, 1993. Sinister, Diabolical Summoning. Could have went with their debut, Cross the Sticks, in 92. It's a great one too. We're going to go with this one. You know what? I wish I heard a little bit more about this band. Super talented songwriting, catchy riffs that just really hang with you, chuggy vocals, acceptable, right? Fuzzy, scratchy, tremolo sections. I mean, just some crazy dive bomb stuff. I mean, it just super enjoyable. Really active band as well. They have a long line of albums. So, you know, we're sticking with the early ones, obviously. Sinister, Diabolical Summoning. Son of the cloud, her with words, doesn't mold, a sort of And for number 4, 1991, Nuclear Blast. Actually a picture disc that I'm going to show you for this one. One of those great 90s bands, still active today. Yeah, so Dawn of Possession by Immolation. Super sweet picture disc, by the way. Yeah, I mean, the type of death metal that I really enjoy right here. I've mentioned them on several occasions in past videos. It's funny that I'm just now getting around to making my favorite 80s, 90s death metal albums, since I've enjoyed this stuff for several years now, even though I'm still new at it. You can't go wrong. Their debut album, like I said, just coming out the gate swinging with this one, Dawn of Possession. Now we're down to the top 3. And man, this one that I'm about to show you, if I would have filmed this tomorrow, it might have came in at number 1. It's just that good, and it's a compilation. But you know what? It's my list, so it's just that good. You know, their different stuff that they've done. It's basically all that we have from these guys. They're no longer active. Finnish death metal, Depravity, Silence of the Centuries. Killer artwork, by the way. Dissonant Tapes is what I have. Say what you will about Back on Black or Dissonant Tapes. I think they're out here doing God's work. Some of this stuff's not the easiest to find. So until I can find me a proper copy, these'll do. Just the best kind of stuff, man. My favorite kind of death metal, where it's a lot of tremolo. The production is kind of murky, you know, like demo quality. It's just the best, right? That's the kind of death metal that I want in my life. Silence of the Centuries, yeah, so obviously a comp. They got different stuff on here. They're different demos, EPs, what have you. Phantasmagoria, Remasquerade. Some of these songs are repeated a few times. Man, I could listen to this forever. I mean, it doesn't matter if these songs repeat a few of them, because, yeah, I don't want this type of death metal to ever end. Depravity, Silence of the Centuries. And for number 2, we have death metal from France. You know, and it's another compilation. Imagine that. My top 3, and two of the 3 are compilations. We just don't have a lot from these guys. The difference between these guys and Depravity, they're still around. They're still active. They've just recently, in 2023, just dropped their debut. So all these years, so what I'm showing you is just a couple demos smashed together on an LP. It's some of my favorite death metal. Catacomb, In the Maze of Kadath. Also, the Lurker is on here. Lurker the Threshold. Man, this is the stuff dreams are made of right here. The production is just what you desire. Super nasty sounding. I don't know who produced this, by the way. It might say on the insert. So I guess the Crypt is the label. Didn't know that. Check out a band photo right there. French death metal, man. Just some of the best around. Not the easiest one to find. You know, when they came out with these compilations, I think in 2017, they sold out pretty quick. Hard to find. About $100 for even what I'm holding here. And you never want to hear that, man. It's something you never want to hear. Yeah, like I said, here in 2023, they just dropped their debut. What is that called? I don't have that one. It's hard to find anything from these guys. So, When the Stars Are Right, I've heard it. It sounds great. I've had to stream it, because obviously I don't have it. There's a few copies floating around internationally. Great stuff. Great stuff. Number 2, Catacomb. And for my number 1 pick, more United States death metal. It's from 1992, started by a guy by the name of John McEntee. This is their debut album. We're talking about the one, the only, Incantation, Onward to Golgotha, Relapse Records. Exactly what I love in death metal. Is a theme here. Yeah, tremolo picking. I've seen an interview with John where he said, you know, the razor sharp down picking was never really his thing. He could really never quite get the technique down. And so it was always strumming for him, tremolo. And I'm all the more thankful for it because that's my favorite. Sounds great, man. The production, it's just not clean at all. It's so ugly sounding, super dark and evil. It's man, you know, and just a solid dude, man. John McEntee, you know, just down to earth, you know, salt of the earth kind of guy. Super cool. Love to see them live. I'm sure some of you have. Let me know in the comments if you have. Onward to Golgotha, number 1. Hey, look, that's gonna do it. Let me know in the comments exactly what you think. Do you agree with these choices? What are some albums that you would have chose? I'm always curious to hear what you have to say. Jorge, a Christian who collects death metal, signing off. Be blessed.